Welcome back again. In this video we'll review some of the techniques we can use to rough and finish a contour. Now the geometry I'm contouring is a square with fillets on the corners. Z0 is the top of the part and X0, Y0 is at the centre of the part. We're going to contour this profile using depth of cuts and multi-passes. Now let's move over to the left of the screen, and in the Toolpath Manager what I'd like to do is check out the stock setup and identify the size of the stock. I'm going to click on the plus sign just to the left of Properties, and then I'm going to click on Stock Setup. Now the size of this material, it's 3 by 3 by 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to click on OK. Now on the left I'm going to click on the Parameters folder for this contouring operation, and let's check out some of the values. I'm going to click on the Toolpath Parameters page. So we're using a 1/2 inch diameter flat end mill for this contouring operation. Next up, I'm going to click on Contour Parameters. Now the clearance, retract, feed, the top of stock and the depth, they're all set to absolute. Now the top of the stock is set at Z0 and the depth is set at minus 0.125. Now just below, multi-passes and depth of cuts are greyed out, they're not activated. So first up, before we activate any of these, let's go into Verify and have a look at what the toolpath looks like right now. I'm going to click on OK. Over on the left, I'm going to click on Verify, and at the top I'm going to hit the play button, the machine button. So this contouring operation only machines around this contour in one pass. We're going to fix that up to rough and finish using multi-passes and depth of cuts. So I'm going to click on OK. Over on the left I'm going to click on the Parameters folder for this contouring operation. Now here we are on the Contours Parameters page. I'm going to move on down and activate depth of cuts, and next up I'm going to click on the depth of cuts button. Now before we move on and review any of these values, I'm just going to click on the question mark in the lower right corner, and here we are in Help at the depth cuts page, and if I click on Field Definitions we can review what the different values, different buttons perform. So don't forget, Help's just a couple of clicks away. I'm going to click on the Close button. Now starting at the top, maximum rough step, I've got it set to 0.0625, and one of the other important things here is I've activated Keep Tool Down. Now to set the number of depth cuts you can enter a maximum rough step, and Mastercam divides the total depth into equal steps, or you can enter the exact number of finished steps and the size of each finished step, and Mastercam never creates unequal rough depth cuts. Now subprogram, I haven't activated it, but this creates subprogram lines in the NCI file. A subprogram is a block of NC code which is designed to be called several times from the main CNC program. Now I've got by contour activated. For example, if I have 4 separate chains to contour in a single contour operation, it will complete the first contour to the final depth and then move over and complete the remaining contours. Whereas by depth creates depth cuts at the same level in every contour and then descends to the next depth cut level for each contour. It machines the contour in stages. Now let's go and verify and find out what depth of cuts with these values has done to this contouring operation. So I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click on OK. Now we've got a red check mark, so let's move on up and regenerate all dirty operations. And next up let's move into Verify. I'm going to move on up the top and click on the Machine button. Now this first cut is at a depth of Z minus 0.0625, and then the second and final cut is at a depth of Z minus 0.125. So 2 cuts. I'm going to click on OK. Now let's go and check out multi-passes. I'm going to click on parameters, going to activate multi-passes, and then click on the multi-passes button. Now multi-pass allows us to approach the geometry in steps instead of cutting right to the geometry on the first cut. We can create multiple roughing and finishing passes. Now there are 3 main sections: roughing, finishing, and down at the bottom, machine finish passes at. So finish passes, these are values in the XY plane. Before we move on, I'm going to click on the question mark. And once again, here we are in help. This time we're at the multi-passes dialog box. So for more information on multi-passes, this is the place to go. I'm going to close it up. So let's have a look, see what we've got. Starting at the top, I've got roughing passes number 1 and the spacing 0. So I'm not going to be doing any roughing passes. Now for the finishing pass, what I've got is 1 finish pass and the spacing is 30 thou, 0.03. So what this means is the final finish pass will take 30 thou off the contour. Now let's click on OK. Not going to change anything here. We've got machine final passes at final depth. I'm keeping the tool down. Let's click on OK. OK here, and let's check out and see what this has done to this toolpath in Verify. So what I'm going to do is, we've got a red check mark, we've changed something. I'm going to click on Regen or Dirty Operations, and let's go back into Verify. And now let's check out what multi-passes has done. I'm going to click on the machine button. Here comes our first roughing cut, 62 thou deep, and we're staying 30 thou off the contour. Here's the second rough cut at an 1/8 deep, still 30 thou off the contour, and then this final cut takes that 30 thou off the contour, and that final cut was at a depth of Z minus 1/8 inch. So we've 2 roughing cuts, and the final cut is our finishing cut. I'm going to click on OK. And that completes this video on roughing and finishing a contour using depth of cuts and multi-passes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.